Awakened by flames. How a family was able to escape late last night after a fire erupted in their townhouse.
The first step to fixing our schools is increasing overall state support for schools.
Talking tour where Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner was discussing funding formula issues in the state and how school districts are dealing with the problem. Plus, helping out the big box business that's brought in sales tax for one local city and how it helps the area to grow.
Live from WQAD, this is News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
Good morning and welcome. It is Wednesday, March 2nd. I'm Julie Sisk.
And I'm Jonathan Ketz.
And I'm Kelsey Woodard filling in for Eric Swanson this morning. We're no doubt seeing a cold start. If you've been out there, you're going to want to grab your jacket. If you haven't headed out the door yet this morning, we're slowly beginning to see a little bit of the sunrise on the horizon. 15 degrees is what we're sitting at now, even lower in some areas. In the low teens, though, wind chills are feeling more like the single digits, even below zero. So we're seeing 14 degrees Burlington and Clinton, 11 degrees for you. As we head throughout your afternoon, we'll be climbing nicely into the upper 30s, even low 40s. And it's hard to believe that we're going to see snowfall with temperatures like that in the afternoon. But as we head throughout night to night, we do see the clouds roll in, and that's going to bring in our next round of some winter weather and continue to hang around as we head into your early morning hours tomorrow. Now, I'll tell you exactly how much we can see across the viewing area and how long it'll stick around as we head throughout the next few moments.
Okay, thank you, Kelsey. Well, new this morning, a family of 5 was able to escape after a fire erupted in their townhouse. It happened off of 51st Avenue in East Moline, east of Black Hawk College, just before 11 last night. When crews arrived on scene, flames were coming out from the upper part of the townhouse. They were able to get the fire out quickly, and police say that 2 adults and 3 children were sleeping at the time and were woken up by the smoke detector. They were all able to get out safely. An investigation into what caused the fire is ongoing. An arrest has been made in the shooting of a Davenport teenager late on Monday night. We have the new details here on Good Morning Quad Cities. The incident happened just after 9 in the area of Clark Street and Central Park Avenue. When police arrived, they found a 17-year-old female lying in the street with a gunshot wound. She remains in critical condition this morning. Davenport police say that a 15-year-old male from Rock Island has been charged with attempted murder. Police are continuing to investigate what led up to that shooting.
We have your voice, your vote coverage now on Good Morning Quad Cities. It was a record turnout for Super Tuesday, and we are just one step closer to finding out who will hold the Democrat and Republican presidential nominee. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump was able to win across the conservative South, getting Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Tennessee, as well as Virginia, Massachusetts, and Vermont. Senator Ted Cruz won his home state of Texas, as well as Oklahoma, and is projected to win Alaska. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton projected to win Georgia, Virginia, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas, and Massachusetts. Her opponent, Bernie Sanders, has won his home state of Vermont, Oklahoma, Minnesota, and Colorado.
After snagging most of the states yesterday, Republican Donald Trump spoke to a crowd, thanking them for coming out as well as thanking his opponents.
I think, honestly, we've done something that almost nobody thought could be done, and I'm very proud of it. I would love to see the Republican Party and everybody get together and unify.
Trump also stated yesterday that now he is one step closer to the nominee. His next plan is to go after Hillary Clinton. Right now, none of the other Republicans have indicated they are dropping out. They will meet once again this Thursday to debate in Detroit, Michigan.
Well, on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton was able to get most of the states, but she made it clear that America must unite.
It's clear tonight that the stakes in this election have never been higher. Trying to divide America between us and them is wrong, and we're not going to let it work.
Clinton says she is now focusing on the upcoming Democratic primaries in Florida and Michigan. She did thank her rival Bernie Sanders, who was able to win 4 states last night. They will meet once again to debate Sunday in Flint, Michigan.
Reverend Jesse Jackson is demanding that Illinois grants MAP funding for schools across the state. Jackson joined students at Chicago State University yesterday. It is among the 130 public universities and community colleges in Illinois whose students receive state MAP grant funding. That funding has been put in the crosshairs because of the budget problems. Yesterday, the Reverend compared Governor Bruce Rauner to former Alabama governor and segregationist George Wallace.
Racism and poverty and the result thereof. He's willing to sacrifice this school on the altar of a budget.
Reverend Jackson called on students across Illinois to protest in downtown Chicago on the morning of March 11th.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner stopped at an East Moline middle school yesterday to talk about plans to make education a top priority. But as News 8's Elizabeth Wattis explains, not everyone here in the Quad Cities is on board with the governor's proposal.
On Tuesday morning, a warm welcome for Governor Rauner by these East Moline students.
Oh, this is very nice. Go Gators, go Gators.
This school stop was one of many the governor has made within the last week. His goal, to take a tour and talk about the crisis Illinois schools are facing.
We've been reducing state funding for schools. That's wrong.
East Moline Superintendent Kristen Humphreys says right now the amount of money a school district gets from the state depends on where that district is. Districts with higher property taxes get more money for their schools. Humphreys says that formula hurts less affluent districts like East Moline.
State aid should be taking care of those districts that don't have local wealth to make sure all of our students get an opportunity no matter where you live.
Over the last 5 years, Humphreys says East Moline schools have lost $5 million because of how the current formula works.
It means laying off teachers. It means not replacing teachers that have retired. And raising class sizes.
Governor Rauner says he recognizes the hardship schools are facing, but has a different solution to the problem.
The first step to fixing our schools is increasing overall state support for schools. So
meaning he wants the school funding pie to be bigger instead of rearranging the size of the pieces of the pie each district gets. Something Superintendent Humphreys agrees will help, but won't fix the problem entirely.
Even if they have the money to fully fund all schools, the disparity between the haves and the have-nots continues to grow in the state of Illinois. The formula is broken. It must be fixed.
In East Moline, Elizabeth Wattis, WQAD News 8.
Thank you, Elizabeth. East Moline Superintendent Kristen Humphreys made his way to Springfield after the governor's visit. There, he says he will meet with other superintendents to show support for a bill that will change the funding formula, making money depend more on need rather than property taxes.
Iowa Governor Terry Branstad stopped by the Creative Arts Academy in Davenport to check out their program yesterday. Students performed songs, dances, and recited poems. The academy started 2 years ago and focuses on 5 different interests of media, from dance, music, theater, visual arts, and communication, and the media arts. Superintendent Dr. Art Tate hopes it serves as a reminder why equity funding, or equality funding that is important.
I would like legislation that would say, there's a problem, here's a solution, and it might take 10 years or so. But while we're waiting for that solution, I am going to have to dip into the reserves to keep us going.
Governor Branstad says that his top priority right now is to get a bill with an amendment that he says would solve the inequality funding problem over a period of time.
Well, today, Iowa lawmakers will discuss the proposed oversight bill that will overlook the new privatized Medicaid program. Yesterday, lawmakers got a sneak peek at the plan. Democratic senators say the bill is designed to safeguard the more than 500,000 Iowans who use Medicaid, plus encourage participation and protect taxpayers. But Republican lawmakers want to change parts of the proposal. Governor Branstad's plan to privatize Medicaid is set to take effect April 1st. Well, the lack of snowfall this year has actually helped to save cities money.
Cities around the region are paying as much in salt and overtime this season. At News 8's Caroline Reinwald joins us now live in Silvis to explain just how much this mild winter is saving the area. Caroline?
Jonathan, that lack of snowfall can be seen very clearly behind me here with these piles of salt sitting here unused in the Silvis Public Works Department lot. Now, this year alone, they've saved in thousands of dollars worth of salt and in overtime. It's the same story in cities like Moline and Rock Island, where piles of salt can be seen unused. The Public Works Director here in Silvis says they've saved about $43,000 in salt and overtime this season.
So this year we've had 11 storms compared to 25 last year. That's reduced our salt use about 400 tons, and it's reduced our overtime about 250 hours.
Of course, all of this could change if we see an abnormal end to the season. Like Kelsey said, we will be getting some snow later on this week, but the Public Works Department Director tells us that so far this season, it's been a lot tamer overall. Back to you, Jonathan.
Very true. Caroline, thank you. On the other side of the river in Iowa, the Davenport Public Works Department says that they've saved more than $100,000 in overtime alone this season.
Well, the list of top sales tax contributors from last year is being released for the city of Moline. And at the top of the list once again this year is Walmart. Other businesses like Menards, Hy-Vee, and Walgreens come up next on the list, just as they did in 2014. It's consistency that Moline Mayor Scott Reyes says is a big part not only for the financial stability of the city, but for continuing growth.
Walmart obviously knows their business, so they know what it will support. And it hasn't been a deterrent to us, the fact that they want to expand. When Sam's came in, big boost for us again. You want to keep that momentum rolling and look for more and more opportunities.
Mayor Reyes also says that Moline would look very different if the sales tax revenue was not coming in from those bigger companies.
The Planning and Zoning Commission met last night in Davenport to start finalizing a rezoning request for the new Kraft Heinz plant in the city. They are working to get the property at the Eastern Iowa Industrial Complex rezoned from agriculture to industrial. The Zoning Commission will meet in 2 weeks and will either vote to recommend or deny that request. Once a vote is taken, the Zoning Commission will then make its recommendation to the City Council. All right, well, still ahead right here on Good Morning Quad Cities, the new poll that shows how much Iowans love the renewable fuel standard. Ag in the AM is still ahead.
And wasted medication, how much the U.S. will waste on cancer medication and why medical companies waste so much.
If snowfall is on the horizon, I'll let you know when we can expect it, how long it'll stick around, and when we'll see the 60s move back in. Coming up.
You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities on WQAD News 8 with Jonathan Katz and Julie Sisk.